said to be an evil spirit denied rest after death. The Boo Hag is no ordinary ghost. It is a twisted, skinless being, its flesh raw and red, moving like liquid shadow under the cover of night. Devoid of its own skin, the Boo Hag preys on the unsuspecting, slipping into homes unseen, driven by an insatiable thirst for life. Boo Hags are known for one particularly sinister trick. They borrow the skin of the living. When night falls, they seek out their victims, crawling into bedrooms as silent as death itself. The hag hovers over the sleeping, choosing its prey with an unholy patience. When it finds its victim, it peels away their skin, wearing it like a grotesque disguise. In this borrowed skin, the Boo Hag goes out to ride, blending among people by day, feeding off the energy of the living to sustain its unnatural existence. For those haunted by the Boo Hag, waking up is no relief. The hag's touch drains vitality, leaving victims weak, their skin pale, as if life itself has been siphoned away. Some survivors report waking with an inexplicable sense of dread, their bed sheets soaked with sweat and a lingering feeling that something had been there, watching, hungry. But the Boo Hag has weaknesses, and the Gullah people share warnings for protection. To keep a Boo Hag at bay, one should leave a broom by the door or scatter salt or rice. They say the hag is compelled to count every grain, becoming so obsessed with the task that it loses track of time and must flee before dawn. If caught in daylight, the Boo Hag is trapped, unable to return to its lair before the sun's purifying light burns it away. The most terrifying warning, though, is this. If you wake in the night, feeling short of breath, and sense a shadow hovering close, don't move. Don't open your eyes. The Boo Hag knows when it's been discovered, and if it feels threatened, it won't hesitate to silence its victim forever, pulling them into a world of endless darkness. To this day, the Gullah people whisper of Boo Hags, urging caution to all who dare listen. For the Boo Hag is always seeking, always waiting for its next ride, its hollow eyes ever watchful, its red, skinless body creeping through the shadows in search of fresh skin. So, as night falls, be wary, because once the Boo Hag finds you, escaping its grasp may be impossible. In hushed tones and whispered warnings, parents tell the terrifying tale of the Blue Star tattoo. This urban legend claims that beneath the guise of innocent, temporary tattoos lurks a deadly trap, a means of luring children into a nightmare from which they might never wake. Stories circulate of these small, colourful tattoos, often with a single bright blue star, handed out near schools, parks, or community centres. They look harmless, playful even, but these seemingly cheerful designs hide something dark. According to the legend, these tattoos aren't just stickers. They're laced with LSD, designed to seep into a child's skin upon contact, triggering powerful and horrifying hallucinations. The children are left defenceless, Rumours say the drug leaves children not just disoriented, but addicted, trapped in a cycle of hallucination and despair. Some tales are even darker, warning that children who come in contact with the blue star tattoo are never the same, scarred by visions they can't shake, haunted by shadows only they can see. Parents and teachers pass on the warning: if your child comes home with an unfamiliar tattoo, wash it off immediately and seek help. The danger, they say, is real, spreading unseen, like a predator preying on innocence. To this day, the Blue Star tattoo legend continues to instill fear, a sinister story to remind children that sometimes the things that look harmless hold the darkest secrets. And with each new telling, the shadow of the Blue Star spreads, its tale of silent terror lingering like a warning in the back of every parent's mind. In the small, quiet town of Quitman, Arkansas, an unsettling tale haunts the streets. The legend of Jarrell Bettis, more chillingly known as the Dog Boy. Locals whisper that Jarrell was no ordinary child. With an eerie fascination for cruelty, he terrorized the town, his twisted grin and deadened eyes enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. It's said that as a boy, he would capture stray dogs and cats, dragging them into his family's decrepit house, where unsettling cries and strange noises echoed through the night. As he grew older, his dark nature only deepened. Jarrell's obsession with pain extended to his own parents. Neighbours claimed they saw him towering over his elderly mother, his hands clenched, his eyes wild with some unspeakable rage. His father, a once strong man, was seen bruised and frail, unable to escape the torment inflicted by his own son. Shadows would flicker at the windows, figures moving in unnatural ways, and rumours spread that Jarrell was more than a man, something twisted, something monstrous. One night, the house fell silent. No screams, no shadowy figures, only an oppressive stillness. Some say Jarrell vanished, others claim he still lingers in Quitman, watching from the dark, his cold gaze fixed on anyone who dares to remember. And when the moon is high, they say you can feel his presence, a chilling shadow creeping closer, a memory of pure, unhinged malice lurking in the quiet streets of Quitman, waiting, forever haunted by the Dog Boy.
2016, a strange and unsettling phenomenon began creeping across the country. Clowns, grotesque figures painted in bright colors, started appearing in the most unexpected places. They emerged from the dark, their smiles stretched too wide, their eyes glinting with something that felt wrong, something that seemed to hunger for fear. It began with fleeting glimpses, reports of lone clowns standing silently at the edges of forests, staring with their heads tilted just slightly, as if amused by some private, twisted joke. Then the sightings grew closer, figures appearing beneath streetlights at 3 a.m., lurking near playgrounds, their bright costumes garish under the moonlight. Witnesses described the feeling of being watched, a chill that ran down the spine when they saw those crimson smiles in the shadows. They never spoke. They simply stared, sometimes holding balloons that bobbed eerily in the night breeze. People reported being chased, the clowns lunging out of the darkness, their laughter shrill and unnatural, echoing through empty streets. The terror spread like wildfire, each new sighting feeding the growing paranoia. By the time October rolled in, the sightings had become a frenzy, a nightmare that blurred the lines between prank and something much more sinister. The clowns were no longer just hiding in the dark. They were approaching homes, tapping on windows, their faces inches from the glass. Their eyes were vacant, their painted grins too wide, and the fear they left in their wake was real, a creeping dread that no one could shake. The clowns eventually disappeared, fading back into the shadows as quickly as they had come, but the unease remained. Now, whenever someone catches a flash of color in the darkness, a hint of red or yellow, they wonder, have the clowns returned? It always begins the same way. A driver, alone at night, hearing something strange beneath their car. A dull, grinding noise, a scraping that sends a shiver up their spine. The road is empty, the darkness endless, and the driver pulls over, heart thudding, convinced it must be something serious. They step out into the silence, the cold night air biting against their skin. There's nothing around, only shadows, long and unnaturally still. They crouch down, peering beneath the car, their breath fogging in the cold. That's when it happens. A flash of silver, a brutal slice, and the driver screams. The pain is instant, searing as their ankles are cut open, tendons severed. They collapse to the ground, writhing in agony, unable to move, the world blurring around them. In their panic, they see it, a shadowy figure emerging from underneath the car, moving with a calm, predatory grace. The thief rises, stepping over the driver as if they are nothing more than a discarded object. Without a word, they slide into the car, the door slamming shut, the engine roaring to life. The headlights sweep across the road, illuminating the driver's twisted form for a heartbeat before the car speeds away, leaving them alone, helpless, bleeding into the asphalt. The legend of the ankle-slicing car thief is a warning, a reminder that not all noises should be strange sound should be pursued. Because sometimes, in the dead of night, what waits in the shadows is not just a problem to be fixed, but a nightmare lurking beneath, ready to strike when you least expect it.
On the bleak and brooding moors of Exmoor, a sinister legend prowls under the cover of fog, the Beast of Exmoor. This shadowy creature, said to be a massive panther-like cat, has haunted Devon and Somerset for decades, stalking the hillsides with predatory stealth and leaving a haunting sense of dread among those who dare to wander alone. The sightings began with strange gutted livestock, sheep and cattle left torn and bloodied in the fields, their bodies shredded as if by claws, both powerful and merciless. Farmers spoke in hushed voices of a creature with pitch-black fur and glowing amber eyes, a beast whose presence seemed to darken even the coldest nights. With the agility of a ghost, the beast slipped in and out of the shadows, its massive form almost invisible against the wild, rugged landscape. The few who glimpsed it reported an eerie silence, a predatory stillness that filled the air just before they spotted a flicker of movement, a sleek shadow stalking through the mist. The beast's piercing gaze and sleek, muscular form struck terror into anyone unfortunate enough to catch sight of it. Hunters and locals formed search parties, eager to rid Exmoor of its phantom predator. They scoured the moors, rifles in hand, yet the creature always evaded capture, leaving only clawed imprints in the damp earth and lingering, blood-curdling growls in the distance. Today, the legend of the Beast of Exmoor endures. When the fog rolls thick over the moors and the wind whispers through the gnarled trees, locals warn to keep close to the path and avoid the dark, lest they become prey